In today's video, we're going to discuss why I'm going more overweight into TSLY, which is the covered call fund that tracks Tesla and has a monster dividend. And I'm going to share with you why I'm making it the largest Yieldmax position in my portfolio, okay? The largest stock position in my portfolio. As you know, I keep about 15K in OARC, but of all the stocks in my portfolio, the Yieldmax stocks, I'm making TSLY the largest one, and I'm adding to it, and here's why, okay? So we earn over 100,000 per year in dividends at this channel, over 150,000 actually in dividends at this channel. And you can do this too because I use purchasing power to do this. Everyone's granted margin purchasing power in their brokerage account, and I just use a fraction of that. So for every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. So we have almost $1 million of purchasing power at our disposal. And I just use a fraction of that to get ahead and to get this income that you're seeing. As you see on a year-to-date basis, we're beating the S&P. We're up 21%. And the S&P is up 17%. We were up 50%, beating all the indexes a couple of months ago, but the market had a pullback, and we had a larger pullback with it because we own Cornerstone. And over the last 3 years, you can see we're up about 50%. If you can watch my past videos, you'll notice that I've been handily beating the market, even with this margin strategy, okay? So I beat the 2022 bear market, and I withstood a 20% correction on the portfolio during October. If you need help doing the same, living financially free out of your brokerage account, email me for my e-guides at aikandtodd48@gmail.com. We're living the FIRE lifestyle here at this channel, and that's what FIRE stands for, Financially Independent, Retire Early. And again, everyone can do this too, and that's why I started making videos on YouTube about it. So, okay, the first reason why I like Tesla, okay, TSLY to be more clear, because you know we run a dividend strategy at this channel. Again, the margin that I use, I have about 153,000 in debt and margin, but I make about 153,000 in dividends. So my debt should be gone by the end of the year, all right? And that's how the strategy works here at this channel, okay? It's kind of like a rob Peter to pay Paul strategy, but it's perfectly legal, and I don't know why more people don't do it. You just use some of the margin power that you have. You use dividends to then pay back the margin, okay? Not stock gains. You don't want to trade on margin because that's when you statistically lose. 90% of traders statistically lose. But when you're going with dividends, it's kind of hard to lose, even in a stock like Tesla, because even if we're wrong on Tesla, then TSLY will continue to cash flow, okay? So if we have about 12,000 in TSLY, which you see here, I've had about 10 in TSLY, and I apologize for moving fast on my phone. I'm on my phone, okay? I'm not doing this from a computer, so it's much more difficult. So even if we lose in Tesla, TSLY will still win over time because, you know, it's 60% dividend or whatever it is, okay, is going to cash flow itself in 2 years. Now, I have 5 reasons why I'm going more overweight into TSLY, but this is more of the, you know, just the basic reason why I've always been in TSLY, okay? What I'm describing to you here, the dividend, okay, an 80% dividend. We don't know what the actual dividend is. It varies month to month, but you can do the math there. 58 cents. I always just call it a 50 to 60% dividend just to be safe with my viewers, so we don't get distracted by the numbers there. Just know around a 50% dividend means that you cash flow in 2 years because that's 100% payback. That's a double. Okay, and a lot of people worry about the maintenance. I mean, not the maintenance. I'm sorry. I'm going to share with you my issue with maintenance. It's 50% maintenance. That's the secret to living the FIRE lifestyle here at the channel. That's in my Volume 3 Margin E-Guide. Okay, if you need help understanding margin and how I use dividends and maintenance to get the most out of my account to live the FIRE lifestyle, email me for that e-guide there. So 50% maintenance, that's kind of a problem. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it means that for every 100,000 I put into TSLY, 50,000 of my available withdrawal is taken up. But a lot of people are more worried about the NAV erosion in TSLY. I don't understand that worry because they think, well, the stock's going to go to zero and you won't be able to make any more dividends off of it. Well, that's just you know, sort of ridiculous in my opinion because they'll just do a reverse split, okay? A reverse split will make the share price go higher again, and then the dividends aren't affected in a stock split. So I've been getting that question a lot, and usually the dividend just reflects for whatever the shares are. So a stock split would just help us. It would raise the share price of TSLY. It would raise your available for withdrawal too if TSLY fell below a certain amount. That raises maintenance requirements. But if you get a stock split and a reverse split and the stock price is higher, that usually will lower your maintenance and help your account. It'll flood back all of your equity. See, my account value is 440. It was at around 500 a couple months ago when we were at 50%. But now we're at 207, which is still really high. This means I can withstand a 30% correction overnight, and I can withdraw freely out of my account, okay? But when you have 50% maintenance like TSLY is, you have to be careful because, first of all, if you put too much in this stock, it is a stock and it can fall by the amount of the stock. So that's the one risk of putting too much money into a TSLY. But again, secondly, you suck up all your available withdrawal, 50% of it. So even if the market's doing well, I can't withdraw out of my brokerage account. I use my E-Trade card and my debit card to swipe it and go wherever I want in the world. We just got back from Europe, as you know, me and my family. And I can buy cars, clothes, shoes with this margin debt. Okay, I can spend out of this available withdrawal even though my account value is 440 or 340 or 240 or 140. As long as I don't sell, then my dividends just keep coming in and the plan remains uninterrupted, and my dividends keep paying down the margin, okay? So all of my available withdrawal will, my available withdrawal should increase by 150,000 by the end of the year. My debt will be at zero, and my account will be plus 150,000. So we'd be at around 600,000 in a year. All right, so if we have NAV erosion on TSLY, it doesn't bother me one bit because the dividends, again, are cash flowing it. However, I think that you can see some capital appreciation in TSLY, which is why I'm making it, why I'm making my largest Yieldmax position and why I'm going overweight in it now, is because I'll go ahead and say that's one of my first reasons for going overweight into TSLY, the charts, okay? So again, watch the maintenance levels in these, and it's stock specific. So that's why I don't keep too much in stocks. I put them more in the funds like Cornerstone, as you see above. Okay, I'm not going into a long tangent here on Cornerstone, but I must say that I anchor my portfolio with Cornerstone. When you go heavy into something, especially on margin, you want to do it where the headline risk is gone. That way it falls by the amount of the indexes. So I keep about 400 grand of my dollars in Cornerstone, and that's because it's a 5-star fund, as you see here on the chart on the Morningstar website. 5 stars, Cornerstone, and it beats the indexes. Okay, so that's what I do to get most of my income. It has a 20% dividend, Cornerstone's 5-star, and it drips the dividend down at the NAV. You just have to learn how to play this fund properly and time it around its rights offerings. That's how you really get rich and level up quickly in your account through Cornerstone. That's in my Volume 4 e-guide. Okay, when you buy all of my e-guides, Volume 1 through 4, then you get free access to Discord for life and my phone number for life. So Discord is where I alert you of the rights offering in Cornerstone, and also track other things here like my daily portfolio recap. We have a Yieldmax channel here, a Bitcoin channel, you name it. So anyway, back to what I was saying about TSLY. By the way, if we go to a chart of TSLY here on Morningstar, you can see that it's done pretty well. Since its inception, it made you about 3,000 already on 10,000 when Tesla was at the highs. So this shows you the potential of TSLY. Okay, you see here, we're almost at 13,000. So on 10,000 invested, 30% in a year so far was pretty good for that fund. Now we've pulled back some because the chart has pulled back. So again, let's go into that chart, and you'll see that TSLY is pretty cheap. Now it looks really cheap on this chart, okay, but we have to go to the underlying, which is what it tracks. If you need help understanding what TSLY does to track Tesla and to get its stock performance there with the dividends, selling options, synthetic calls, go see my first videos on TSLY. We have a lot of information on that. Okay, now I'm just going more into the theory of TSLY and how to play it now that you understand how the fund works. So here we go. Okay, this is the Volume 2 e-guide. If you need help understanding charts and technicals, that's in my, again, Volume 2 e-guide. Okay, so here we have all the moving averages compressing, okay? The 200-day moving average, the black line, is converging with the purple and the blue, which are the 50-day moving averages and the 100-day moving averages. These are very significant moving averages when they're all converging together like this, and we're almost getting a cross of the 20, which is that golden line, okay, the 20-day moving average through the 200. That would be, if you can get that through the 200 and the 50, that would be a golden cross, and that'd be a really bullish reversal sign to see if you're a stock trader. a lot of times long investors and stock traders both will put their buy orders here around the 200-day moving average. So this is really bullish. I mean, Tesla was at 300 in July. Now it's at 250. So to me, it's looking rather attractive on its chart. Okay, so it's a good time to enter TSLY as a result. Okay, we've been holding around this 200 underneath it for a while, hugging it, as I've been saying for a while. And so now that we've popped above the 200, it's really constructive. Okay, so that's the first reason why I like TSLY, and I'm going more overweight into that, even though it's a stock. Okay, also, you know, the dividend is so large in TSLY, I actually can afford to go more overweight into this stock because the dividend compensates me for that risk. Okay, so again, just watch that maintenance. Okay, the maintenance is key in this, and watch the stock specific headline risk in TSLY. Okay, so you'll see again that I have about 12,000 in it, and I want to get it up to about 15 ideally. Okay, just like these other funds that I have at 15, but no more than that, because I can't really, again, I can't take the performance. You know, if I were to hurt my performance due to one stock, I'd be kicking myself. I like to tie my performances to the indexes, so keep those in mind. You know, tie your investments to the indexes, don't make it a stock, and watch the maintenance in TSLY. Okay, different brokerages have different maintenance levels for TSLY, so keep that in mind as well. Robinhood, you can get lower maintenance, I think, for example, or Interactive Brokers, but they don't do the special drip like you get in Cornerstone. So you really have to weigh these options properly. And in the Discord chat room, we have a brokerage specifics channel if you're ever interested, and it weighs all those pros and cons for you. Okay, we have over 500 members in the Discord chat who can also share their unique experiences with you. Okay, so we're getting ready for the market open here. It's about 9 minutes away, so just keeping that in mind as well. Okay, now the second reason why I like TSLY, okay, is not just because of its chart and how it's attractive valuation-wise there, but it has other growth arms, obviously. It has the robo-taxi, AI, solar, automation, utilities. They have subscriptions, okay, off of, you know, their charging stations, and you know, software as a service, which is a really lucrative business model. Okay, software as a service, getting subscription money like Netflix, like Google, Microsoft. That's where the real money is. Okay, reoccurring revenue, just like with our own dividends. We want our own dividends to be reoccurring as well, and we just grow those dividends and scale up, just like TSLY and Tesla is going to scale up with its software as a service. Okay, so the other growth arms are important to note for Tesla. Okay, not just the chart, but these. It's not just about solar vehicles, you know, and EVs. They have every other growth theme that you can think of that they're exposed to as well. So those are two big reasons there. Another reason why I'm so big into TSLY, it's indexed, okay? It's a large portion of the indexes. We've shown you this in past videos, okay? If we go to ARK, you'll see that it's 10% or about of its weighting there, okay? And so Kathy Woods thinks this is a really important stock for the similar reasons that I believe in it. And so it's part of the indexes, okay? If we go to the S&P and NASDAQ, you'll see it's a pretty large percentage of those indexes. All right, so when you're investing with dividends or even without dividends and margin, you always want to get your performance tied to the indexes one way or another, okay? That's how you can't lose if you go with the indexes, okay? Because 90% of fund managers can't beat the indexes either, okay? 90% of stock traders lose, 90% of fund managers can't beat the indexes over time. So if you go with the indexes, that's how you win. And we use margin here, again, a little bit of extra purchasing power so that you're kind of guaranteed to beat the indexes. Now, you can see some bigger drawdowns during certain times when the market falls because you're using more leverage. But when the dividends pay back that leverage, then that leverage disappears. So you just are left with a bigger account size, and you know that's just the price of having a bigger account when it falls with the market correction. That's fine. You'll take that. All's fair in love and war, but you just want to make sure that you're tied to the indexes in your larger portfolio, not stocks. Okay, because stocks can fall by 50% or more in a down market. Indexes fall by less amounts. So Here's another thing about TSLY. I won't drip it. I get this question a lot, not only about the nav erosion, but will I drip TSLY? Why don't I drip TSLY? Because it doesn't have a special drip advantage like Cornerstone does. Again, Cornerstone drips at the nav. So, you know, these share prices around the $6 area, 4,000 is what I receive a month in each. Well, that's an instant $400 per month. Before, we were making thousands of dollars each month because the premiums were 30%, not 10% right now, as you see that they are. So there's no special advantage for me to drip at nav, unlike with Cornerstone. In fact, I don't drip anything else because nothing has an advantage like Cornerstone. You just have to learn how to ask for that special drip, which now I think you can ask for. Just toggle it yourself and it works. So you'll have Cornerstone, great. You'll have the special drip rolling in, that's fantastic. Get the right broker for it. But then you just have to time it around its rights offerings, which again, that's what my Volume 4 e-guide's about and what the Discord service is about. Okay. So I also want to say that it's under-owned by fund managers. If you look into who owns Apple and Microsoft and then Tesla, it's still under-owned by a lot of fund managers. And look, it's cheap on its chart. So for those two reasons, I like Tesla as well, how it's under-owned and it's still cheap valuation-wise. So that's the fourth reason. But the fifth reason why I have for why I'm buying more TSLY, okay? Hang on one second. Okay, so we're back in the portfolio now, and I just wanted you to note how silent it was, how efficient the car seems. I mean, now you have charging stations in more places, so you can get your charge. I was not a big proponent of electric vehicles. I'm more of an oil guy and an old-fashioned guy, but I see the benefits of them if you can get more charging stations out there. And he charges that you have to buy that subscription again, so that's more reoccurring revenue for Tesla and these charging stations. But I just noticed in Europe how there were these Teslas everywhere, and I didn't see Fords everywhere or GMs everywhere. I saw the European equivalents, but I did not see too many American cars. The only one that I saw was Tesla. I mean, I saw a lot of Mercedes-Benz and Audis, of course, and Tesla was right up there with it. And for every Benz I saw a Tesla out there in Europe. And the same goes for Asia. And everywhere that I've traveled, I see Teslas everywhere. And that's pretty unique. I mean, I could understand seeing it everywhere in the USA, but also on a global, you know, for its global footprint, I see it just as much as I see the other cars, and that's only going to grow as their advantages grow for you know, production and the Tesla. It's the cheapest car to make, the cheapest. You know, he's got the assembly line process down for Tesla. You could go read articles on this. I'm not, you know, the best to talk about the specifics of Tesla vehicles. All I can tell you is that he's lowering prices. He has a competitive advantage when assembling these vehicles, and he just built new plants, you know, manufacturing plants for these cars. So there's a significant runway of cars he's going to produce. But then you have the other growth arms of the company to be excited about. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that clip because I did want to show you a little bit more of my travels in Spain. And I hope you can see from that clip that think of it from an exterior standpoint. I'm seeing these Teslas everywhere. Okay, imagine in a place like Spain where they have taxis everywhere and you have queue lines. You have to wait in the queue lines. Imagine them just having robo-taxis from here on out. It would definitely just be a huge service, robo-taxis, and something that would be huge for Tesla's stock. Okay, so those are the five reasons why I like TSLY, guys. Okay, and if you need more help doing what I'm doing, living the FIRE lifestyle out of my brokerage account, email me for my e-guides at aikentod48@gmail.com, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.